Hi, I'm Beatrice Lovato.
And I'm Delia Leifeld.
Welcome to Exchange of Lives,
the podcast where we talk about our 7-year-long exchange.
So I'm from Verona, Italy, but now I live in Fairfield, Connecticut. And Delia is from Chicago, Illinois, but she's in Corniglia, Liguria. And thanks to the magic of the internet, we're making this happen. Delia and I met 7 years ago in 2018. We were just high school students, and we got paired up in a cultural exchange. It was my fourth year of high school, but I still had 1 year to go. But basically, I applied to this cultural exchange program. And I remember basically you could apply, but then it was not like a sure thing that you were going to be selected. Like they were just going to take like 20 students from the whole high school to go. And then they were pairing up students. I don't know how it started for you. Like, what did you have to do to take part in the exchange?
Yeah. So when I went to high school, I started taking Italian. We had the option of Spanish, French, or Italian. And I had switched because in middle school, I had taken Chinese and French, but it just didn't feel right. So when I started high school, I was like, let's try something different. I have family from 3-4 generations back from Italy, so why not try it out? And instantly it started feeling so good. I loved my professor, my teacher. And I loved it from the very beginning. And I remember my freshman year, my first year in high school, knowing that this was a possibility in the future during my senior year. And I wasn't sure. It kind of seemed like a really crazy experience to go and live in Italy for a bit of time and have this exchange. And it was a bit daunting. But throughout the 4 years, I really fell in love with the language and the culture. And I didn't even know how much I was going to fall in love once I got there and once I met Bea and started to have all these experiences. And now here we are 7 years later.
Yeah, so, and basically, I actually remember the day that you sent me a message, because again, we got paired up, like we didn't choose each other. It was like 20 American students and 20 Italian students. And I don't know, like how they did the pairings, but basically just one day I just received a text message from D, and that's how we met. We started texting like over the summer, and then in October 2018 I went to Chicago. It was the first part of the exchange. So for me, it was actually my first time in America, and I remember, it was just so exciting. And the family, I feel like they really paired us like well. Because the thing is also like 7 years after, we're still friends. We still see each other. I think it was really a great experience. So basically the exchange, so I went there to Chicago it was like 10 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And basically what we had to do, we had like some like trips, like we went to obviously like downtown Chicago, we saw Chicago, but then we had to go to the Fermi Lab, which was like this physics place. Then we went to the art museum, how's it called? The
Art Institute.
The Art Institute, yeah. Then what did we do? Well, we came to your school, like we came to the Prospect High School for one day. Like the thing about the cultural exchange, you're supposed to experience the culture, right? So you were having like time with the family, but also time with your peers and in school and that kind of stuff. So I went to Chicago for 10 days in October 2018. And then in March 2019, you came to visit me.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that period of like however many months in between was so exciting, thinking about like, because we had met each other in October, and I feel like it was just like this whirlwind of 10 days of just like falling in love with each other. And also, like, all of us, I mean, we're pretty young, like 17, right? Yeah, 17,
Yeah,
18,
yeah,
and like just kind of, I think, mind-blowingly opening your world when you're that young, and like suddenly you have friends and people you love that are across the world in Italy, or and hopefully vice versa. And so that period of leading up to us coming back to Verona, I think, was so exciting. And then we got there, and you guys had posters for us at the airport. I remember that my Italian teacher had told us that we need to ask our partner's parents if we can use the informal verb tenses with them. And she told us this right when we got off the plane. And she was like, you have to ask them this right away. And I was like, what's happening? What's happening? And so I remember going up and saying to your mom, like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Delia, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked this, and she was like, yeah, of course.
No, it was funny. I remember you asking my mom, oh, can I use informal language? And my mom was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And also, we hadn't even learned the formal tense at that point. And so she was like, I was just so confused. I was like, wait, I have to learn how to use lei? What is happening? And this is already such of a shock of everything. And I remember we drove on our drive back to your house. We stopped for gelato, and it was like a sunny day. And I remember that I was really proud because I ordered my own gelato, but I remember beforehand asking you, like, should I say like, I would like? Should I say like, vorrei? Should I say like, posso avere? Should I say, I just did voglio, like, what should it be? And you were just like, well, if you say this, it's a bit more polite. If you say this, it's a little more demanding. So I would go with this. And I was like, okay. Buongiorno, vorrei un gelato, grazie, la la la.
Yeah, and you did a great job.
Thanks. Like right off the gate, just kind of starting to have that, like, that practice right away, like being thrown into it, which I think was really cool.
Yeah. And then, so that was the exchange. Like when you came in March, then the exchange technically was over. Like that was it.
Yeah.
But I think, and I remember I was so sad. I remember the last night, we went to a pizzeria with like everybody, like all the students, like the American and Italian students, and we had a pizza. And I remember we were all crying. And I actually remember I was hugging Matteo, who was one of our friends, like he was an Italian student, but he was like one in our group of friends. And he was trying to, cheer me up because I was so like desperate. And I remember telling him, well, I mean, I'm crying because I know that this is over. Like, we're never going to see each other. Like, this is the end. And I was being so catastrophic. But then, actually, in June, you came to Italy again. Like, the same year, in 2019, you came to Italy again because you were working, right?
Yeah, a couple of us. So during the whole time when we were doing the exchange, we were also working with an olive oil company, Redoro, in Verona. And they told us that there was this possibility that a couple months after the exchange, some of us would be chosen to come back for 2-3 weeks in June. And I remember once they told us that, I was so locked in that, like, I have to go back. I'm so in love with the whole experience, and it was so life-changing. I need to come back. And I was eventually chosen. And I remember just feeling so, like, it felt like you said, like, in theory, the exchange was over in March, but we made it continue to happen. And I also think, like, you want to make it happen more once you have those connections with people. And I remember, like, how special it felt with your family and the big dinner that you had with, like, all of your aunts and uncles and grandparents, and this whole feast, and you made a cake that had the Italian flag and the American flag, and we played a drinking game, and we sang with we sang Babilo, 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 Babilo. And afterwards we sang Bohemian Rhapsody with your aunt and uncle. And was it your dad playing the piano?
My dad was playing the piano, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that was just being one of those nights where it was just like, how did I find myself here? How did I find myself? I'm in San Giovanni in Larione, in this beautiful place with these beautiful people, having this crazy experience. And so I think with all of that, I just knew that I needed to come back in June. And I remember that couple week period being so fun and so lovely, and summer in Italy dream. And then leaving there, that time was strange. I remember feeling very, very sad because it was like an exchange on steroids, because I feel like we had even more time together and we could do what we wanted. And so that was in 2019. And then then I went to college, then you had another year in high school. And then COVID happened.
Yeah, that's another thing. Because I remember we were like making plans that I don't know if they would have ever happened, but we were making plans of seeing each other like during Christmas break. But then COVID happened, so we were like, we couldn't see each other. It was just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then so you came in 2019. And then did you come in 2022? I feel like you came, did you come with your mom? Like in the spring?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, when I graduated college. Yeah, so like 3 years later. That's so sad, 3 years. Like 4 years later, my mom and I came in 2023. No, before I had been in Bologna. I came to Bologna in 2022 for like 7 months because I
remember seeing you like in 2022 before I came to the US.
Yeah. And then so I was studying in Bologna for 6-7 months, and then you were making your way to Ocean City in the summer of 2022, right?
Yeah, so summer, like it was June 2022. And yeah, so I went to this place in Maryland called Ocean City, just for a summer job. But then at the end so I spent my summer in Maryland, but then at the end of the summer, I came to visit you. And I think that's when I came. Was that year when I came to Wisconsin? Because you were in Wisconsin. You were studying in Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was in like the fall of 2022.
Yeah. So we met. So we saw each other like in the spring of 2022 because you were in Bologna, and then we saw each other in the fall of 2022 because I came to. Well, I went to Chicago to visit your parents, and then we drove up to Wisconsin because you were in college there. Yeah. And then we went to see that football game. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. And then again, did you come again in 2023? Yeah, because you graduated.
Yeah, in 2023, I graduated, and my mom and I did like a 2-week long trip where we went back to Bologna and then Verona, and our parents met for the first time, yeah?
No, because they came the summer you were...
Yeah. So they saw each other for the first time in a long time, and we drove and we had a beautiful lunch, and your brother Michael was there, and then we drove and we were in Suave and walked around and walked up the castle. And that takes us to now, right?
Yeah. And then, I mean, in summer 2023, I came again. I went back to Ocean City, Maryland. And so I came at the end of the summer again. I came to visit you guys. And actually, that's when I got this shirt We went to see the Cubs. What was it? The Cubs versus the Rockies. Well, I don't remember, but we won. So I bought the shirt.
What did you think of, like, compared to a football match in Italy compared to a baseball game in the US?
Well, I feel like in general, like when you go to the stadium in Italy, it's not always a pleasant like experience. I feel like some people are crazy about their team and their like in sports in general. And so people can get very aggressive and be very like mean. Like if you're cheering for the other team, it's just like sometimes it's just not a good place to be. Well, in America, like we went to see the football game and the baseball game and what else? I don't know. I feel like it's just more like, you know, it's just a Sunday afternoon. It's just something fun to do. You know, you're just chanting and just having a hot dog and just eating and drinking and it's just so fun. You know, there's no one who would say mean things to you because you're not like on their team or, you know, that's what I really liked. It was more just, you know, a fun time. And then, so that was 2023. And then that leads us to now. So now, okay, 2023, I went back to Italy. I graduated from college. And then in summer 2024, I came back to the United States and for a graduate program. And I'm about to graduate in like a month. Like I graduate in August. Yeah. But I've been living here for 1 year. And same did you.
Yeah. So I moved. So yeah, you moved in the summer, and then in October I moved to Piemonte, to a smaller town near Turin, to do a master's program at the University of Gastronomic Sciences in Polenzo. And we had courses for 9 months. And then now I'm doing an internship in Cornelia in Liguria for this summer. And then in October, I'll go back to Piemonte for my graduation.
That's so cool. And I mean, I'm so jealous of the place where you're right now. Like, you had to show me and send me a video of your view outside of your window.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
Yeah, so I really think like the exchange. I remember when we were saying goodbye back in 2019, like in Italy, you said something like, "Oh, you changed my life," and it was just so true because I feel like the exchange really is what made me fall in love with the country, like with the United States, and that's why I kept coming back. It was that experience. And it's just like,
me too.
You know, and every single time I come back to Chicago, it just feels like another home, like, you know, a home away from home. And I think it's really, we've been very lucky that we got paired up because I feel like other students, like they didn't really keep in touch. Well, you know, we managed to see each other in the years.
So I think made it happen.
So I think that was really great. I always like to refer to your parents as like my American parents because that's really the feeling. It
feels so close, and like you said, it is a home away from home, and you feel like you have this experience that kind of like roots you in that culture, in that country that otherwise would seem foreign. It would seem so far away, but since we had that home family experience with this partner that you love and that has become such a close friend, you have this new experience that I'm the same, like made me fall in love with the country and also informed my decisions that make me keep choosing to come back.
Well, on that note, that was all we had for you today.
We hope you enjoyed.
and we'll see you next time.